Howdy, my darling Capricorn. I hope you're doing well, my friend. I'm going to be getting into your monthly tarot reading for April and see what tarot messages are coming in for you right now, what you're dealing with, what you're manifesting, what your spirit guides, the universe wants you to look out for, Capricorn, all the good stuff. And if you look down below, Capricorn, you'll see a timestamp for your social aspect here, because I understand not every single Capricorn cares to hear about a person, right? So I have a specific section that's dedicated at the later end of this video for the person that's on your mind that you can go check out if you want to, Capricorn, and see if I am able to connect to the person that's on your mind. But right now, who's on my mind, Capricorn, is you. You are my most important person on my mind right now. So let's see what's going on with you here personally, Capricorn. And also, thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you are having a lovely Tuesday when you're here seeing this message. All right, Capricorn, we have the Chariot, the Eight of Cups, the Empress. This is the energy that you're coming into this tarot reading with the Queen of Cups coming in as well. All right, Capricorn, I like to see this. I feel like you're going to be, this hasn't happened already, Capricorn, this is going to be happening in the next few days for you, where you're having a lot of clarity in regards to what you need to be doing next. I feel like I'm connecting to you at a point in time right now, Capricorn, where you are feeling slightly unfulfilled. You are in this place where you're just like, all right, I don't know what's out there, but there has to be something that's better than what I currently got. Now, this can encompass many things in your life, Capricorn, right? This can just encompass your social life. This can talk about your career. This can talk about your, it can encapsulate anything where you're just essentially realizing, Capricorn, that what you have is not enough, or at the very least that like you are deserving of something better than what you're currently dealing with, right? I feel like you've been in a little bit of a standstill when it comes to manifestation, and that's what I feel like is the main reason why. It's like your spiritual team has been waiting for you to have that light bulb moment where you're just like, oh, wait a minute, let me change gears, let me change directions here, right? So I like the energy that you're coming into this week here with, Capricorn. Well, I'm not happy that you may have been going through a little bit of a dry spell, obviously, but I do feel as if like you starting to ask the question why is what changes everything. Like the question changes everything, right? The question that changes everything here, right? And once you start asking questions and you start walking down that path and start looking for something better out there, you're going to find it here. All right, you're showing up as that Empress, a little bit similar actually to the Taurus, actually. So you might have some Taurus in your chart, which if you do, Capricorn, go check it out. But you showing up as that Empress there, I feel like you are going to be getting really spoiled by your spiritual team this month, Capricorn. I feel like you're going to realize just how much they're watching over you, and they have your back here. I think this is going to be a month where your faith is really affirmed for like what you choose to believe in, why you choose to believe in it, because I feel like your faith really gets confirmed by how your spiritual team chooses to show up there. Naturally, friend, we pull the Nine of Cups right after the Eight of Cups, right? So let me explain the storyline real quick of the Eight of Cups, in case you don't know, right? Eight of Cups is somebody that has their 8 cups, or in this artwork here, they have this little pool of water, this oasis here, right? And then this individual eventually just says, this sustained them at one point in time, but then they're just like, no, there has to be something better out there. So they take that risk at first, Capricorn, where they walk away from this and just go off into the desert. Even though they can't see any type of water source out there, they're choosing to walk away from those 8 cups in hopes to find more than just 8 cups, in hopes to find 10 cups preferably, right? But along their journey in that 8 of Cups, that transition from that 8 of Cups, what comes after 8, friend? Say it with me, 9. Right? And so you have the 9 of Cups coming in here. So it's like a waypoint that shows up in your life, not for you to settle in and take up camp, but something that happens in your life that really affirms the decision that you made to walk away in the first place, right? And so what is this going to be really affirming here, Capricorn? Let's take a look. 2 of Cups. So especially in regards to people, Capricorn, you are at this point of where if you are walking away from a connection, or if you've been in this place of where you've been really tempted to walk away from a connection, Capricorn, absolutely do it, friend. All right, absolutely do it, because what's going to be, you're going to get affirmed so soon afterwards when it comes to people that it's just like, oh, wait a minute, not everybody is like X, Y, and Z. Not everyone is like my ex. There actually are people that can be supportive, or, you know, fill in the blank for what you had to compromise when it comes to your friendships, family, business connections, you know, whatever the case is there, Capricorn. So whoever it is that you've been like debating on, like walking away from, friend, allow that to be the sign to really commit to that decision there. All right, so last energy for this Queen of Cups coming in here, once again making its appearance after it being in the back of the deck. So definitely a sense of clarity, but also with this sense of clarity that happens is you end up attracting your tribe of people, friend, right? Because the Queen of Cups, well, yes, she's called the Queen of Cups and she's known as someone that has a good support system around her, which is an important factor to your journey here. But also, she's never actually holding a cup. She's usually always holding a trophy. Now, in this illustration of it, in the Rider-Waite Tarot of it, she's holding a trophy. I'll see if I can find it for y'all real quick here. But, yeah, the representation of her is that she has a clear vision for what she wants to accomplish. And I like to describe the Queen of Cups, Capricorn, as somebody where it's like the more they're aligned onto their path, they naturally find people that are more aligned with their energy, and having that good support system, because the more they are committed towards like what is more passionate to them, they're just gonna be around more people that are passionate about the same type of thing, right? So if you end up committing to a path of spirituality and you start going to churches and stuff, you're naturally going to run into other people that are into the same type of thing there. So once you follow into your destiny, you naturally just get aligned with the right people, because those people that are also walking in that same destiny are going to have the same type of point of views, right? So here's an example of the Queen of Cups actually holding the trophy there. So that's what I really would say here for you, Capricorn, is that even though you are in this point right now where you're probably just more so about your own personal business, wanting to level your own self up and, you know, figure your own life out and get things in order in that way, while I see that happening, yes, I do definitely see that happening for you, Capricorn. Just be prepared for how this actually also impacts your social life, right? Now, I know I already said at the beginning of this tarot reading, Capricorn, where I separated the social aspect from the introspective aspect here, but you know, I can't just sit here and pretend as if the social isn't still naturally just popping up in your journey here, which also should just be more so evidence to you, Capricorn, in that you need to make it more of a priority to not be just such a hermit, right? Because I don't want to be hearing in the comments, Capricorn, you saying it's like, well, I don't like people, Velca, so I don't want to be doing. No, you know, there's a reason as to why they're showing up in your path, friend, right? We're naturally just social creatures, friend, and so don't limit yourself from human experiences in your future just because of past bad experiences with said humans, you know, with other humans, right? Ace of Cups or Ace of Pentacles coming in here with the Eight of Wands and then the Death card here. So final thoughts that I have for you when it comes to your personal life here, Capricorn, is really the name of the game for you is just releasing. Releasing, even if you don't have the backup plan. Even though I don't personally suggest it, Capricorn, but I'm not going to really project my own personal belief system onto this. I'm just going to allow the messages to flow. Just understand, especially when it comes to like jobs and stuff of that nature there, friend, I personally believe you should never quit a job unless you have another job backed up already. Even though I didn't take that advice from myself when I made my own big decisions years ago. But this is one of those times where it's like you need to not be afraid of walking away, even if you don't know where you're going to be walking to afterwards. So it's like you need to not be afraid of cutting people off, for example, even though you don't have anyone that you would replace them with. You're just like, okay, well, I might be alone for a while, but you'd rather be alone for a while so you can have that space for people that are more aligned with you than to entertain people that you just have outgrown. Right? And especially when it comes to just like your physical environment as well, Capricorn, I really do feel like for you, I do see like some type of inevitable transition for you. I don't see you working the same type of space. So whether you end up getting a promotion or whether you just end up walking away from your current job and getting to a different job that has better, benefits, has a better pay, whatever it is, like movement is the key here for you, Capricorn. The last thing that you want to be doing right now is building roots. Even if what it is that you're craving right now, Capricorn, is stability, which I can completely understand if you're craving stability, but that's really the only time I could see that potentially being problematic. Not saying you always have to be moving, but it could potentially be problematic for you, Capricorn, if you try to just like, if you start getting too comfortable in a certain situation right now, because a lot of things are going to be fleeting. They're going to be coming and they're going to be fleeing just as quickly as they did. It's like what is like a revolving door right now. So it's like you're dealing with a lot of revolving doors, and if something's not revolving, friend, you know, take a closer look at it, right? So that's what I see here for your personal life here, Capricorn. Hopefully that helped. All right. Now for this next portion, I want you to think about the person that you want me to potentially try to connect to for this person on your mind's tarot reading here. All right. I'm going to be pulling 3 to 4 cards so I can get as best of a reference as possible to this person. So you'll know pretty quickly, Capricorn, if this person is meant for you or not, or if I am connected to your person or not, rather. And just a quick little acknowledgement as well, Capricorn. Thank you so much if you've made it this far for this tarot reading. There's so many other tarot readers out here, friend, that I never take it for granted when someone trusts me to read their cards. All right. So let's take a look here for you, Capricorn. We got the 6 of Cups, the 10 of Wands, or who you're thinking about, with the High Priestess here. So definitely, and then the 9 of Swords. Whew. You're thinking about somebody that is a giant headache here, Capricorn. And it almost feels like who this person is, like, I don't even know if you even want to be thinking about them much anymore, Capricorn. Can I be honest? Even though it sounds a little bit counterproductive towards like you are thinking about them, but maybe that's more so a sign where it's like you can't really help yourself. Perhaps for you, Capricorn, it's time for you to do a cord cutting, for example, or just to do like a cleansing, you know, a general cleansing, just to help, you know, remove their energy, their familiarity with you, so you can start disconnecting from having those constant thoughts here. And I think part of the reason why y'all are so connected and why they are, some of that is just very prevalent on your mind, is seeing the 6 of Cups and the High Priestess there, right? This really just signifies the impact of the energetic aspect of this connection here. I feel like you guys are pretty privy to one another in the sense of where you guys will probably pop up in each other's thoughts when you guys are thinking about one another. You guys probably dream of each other during the same time. You may not have the same dream exactly, but you will end up dreaming about one another during the same type of nights or days, honey. I don't know when you decide to sleep there, right? But yeah, this person comes with a lot of baggage here, friend. Capricorn, what's going on here with them? What are their feelings towards you? That's what's going to make this interesting. That's going to be the deciding factor for this Capricorn, if this ends up being a case of Maury or what. So their feelings towards you seems to be pretty optimistic here. The Sun, 7 of Swords in the reverse. Okay. And then the Star energy. So this is somebody that acknowledges that they've messed up. What does the back of the deck also tell us? King of Wands in the reverse as well. So this is somebody that has acknowledged that they've messed up. They messed up with you, and they're definitely realizing that you are, I don't want to say they perceive you as the one that got away there, because I do feel like there's some level of optimism of where they think that, you know, y'all's story isn't done. Again, maybe just because of the energy being so present with the two of you here. But their feelings towards you is somebody that's like, I don't feel, and this is like something maybe perhaps important for you to note, is that I don't feel like they are afraid of like losing you necessarily. Not to say that, how do I want to put this? It's almost as if like they just think that you would always be back, where it's just like they just have like either they just assume that you would never just fully like leave them or just stop talking to them, or just like some like type of gut intuition from their end where it's just like, nah, like we're gonna be sharing our lives together, right? Whatever narrative, you know, depending on how it is, I guess is really gonna decide like how you personally feel about it. But I don't know. This is somebody that definitely hasn't like given up in some capacity. How do you feel about them though? Knight of Swords, so they're too wishy-washy, too bipolar here for you, perhaps. King of Pentacles, Death, and the Knight of Swords. Okay, yeah. To me, this is somebody where it's like you enjoy their connection, but at the same time, they need to get their life together here, Capricorn. This is somebody where it's like they're, again, like too wishy-washy, where it's like they can say one thing, but then when it comes to the follow-up, I feel like they suck at the follow-up. This is somebody where it's like, how would I really want to like put this here? It's like they're not ready for some type of relationship, or at the very least they're not ready for like a serious type of relationship. When I say relationship, I mean platonically or romantically, right? You know, there's so many times where it's like you can connect with like friends, for example, that you guys could be really wonderful friends, but if they're not ready for a serious friendship, then, you know, what can you do? And I feel like it's one of those dynamics where it's just like they're just not ready for someone as intense as you are there. Ten of Swords with the Hierophant there. Yeah, they're coming from a place of like, all right. So here are my thoughts on this here, Capricorn. All right. I'm trying so hard not to be too critical on this energy, but I'm going to just have to allow this to flow in the way that it needs to flow here. For them to not have some type of concern on at all about them losing you, I think is a red flag in of itself, right? Even if it's coming from like a wholesome place where it's just like, oh no, we have chapters to live together. You know, that's fine and dandy, but you know, for them to have that type of perspective, and that changes how they interact with you. Because if they're not afraid of losing you, then they're not afraid of disrespecting you or to take you for granted. Even if that's not necessarily their intentions when they think that, that's just naturally what, you know, that's just humans being humans there. All right. And so I feel like there's a reason as to why you have all this baggage associated with them. And I think it's easy for you to write. Well, I don't want to say it's easy for you, but I think, we'll just say I think it might be a little bit easy for you to write off, or it had been easy for you to write off so much in the past, Capricorn, because of how much you liked them or just the nature of the connection or the importance of this connection was to you. But I feel as if that more so just trained them to continue to have bad habits when it comes to you as well. And I think this is going to be one of those types of connections where, you know, I wouldn't be afraid of losing them. Personally, I wouldn't be afraid of losing them because I feel like you could get someone so much better. I don't care if this is a friendship. I don't care if this is a business, co-worker, romantic here. I just feel like you could get someone so much better here. Ten of Swords with, or Ten of Pentacles with the Queen of Swords here, confirming that as well, Capricorn. Yeah, you could definitely get someone so much better. Ace of Pentacles. And I'm going to just leave it like that here for you. I'm not here to make a decision for you, Capricorn, because again, you're the one that has the emotional history on this here. But if you're choosing to stay with this energy and be overly patient with this energy because you think you can't get better, or that there may not be something better out there, or that you're afraid, you're clinging on to 8 cups because you're afraid that there's not going to be anything out there that is 9 cups or 10 cups, you're wrong. All right, you're going to be able to find your 10 cups, friend, but you have to firstly just not be afraid of walking away. But you're only going to be not afraid of walking away when you decide to level up your boundaries, when you decide to level up your sense of self-respect of what it is that you feel like you are worthy of or deserving of, right? So a lot of introspection that needs to happen, friend. But overall, Capricorn, outside of that little mess there, like, I like where your energy is going, friend. You're doing some big things, going to some big places, Capricorn, but you probably already know that. So anyways, I love you so much, my Capricorn. Again, thank you for trusting me to read your tarot cards. If you made it this far, if you want to book a private tarot reading with me, you can just look down in the description box below. It's just SimplyVelca.com, same as my username, if you want to book a one-on-one tarot reading with me. And yeah, until next time, Capricorn, I will connect to you sometime in the near future. Bye.